Alright guys, today we're learning lesson 9. If you read your learning target, it says I can round to the nearest 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000. So just from our learning target, you know that the new one that we're learning today is to the 100,000. Well, this is the most easiest one. So let's review what we've learned so far. This says round to the nearest 1,000. So remember, when we round, we need to make sure we're rounding to the correct place value. So nearest 1,000, I want to find which digit is in the nearest 1,000. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So I'm going to circle the 6. So that means all of this front piece becomes thousands. So my starting point is going to be 26,000. Now to get my high point, we know that I want to add one more unit. So I circled this 6. So all I'm going to do is go 6 plus 1. If I go 6 plus 1, that makes 7. So this is now going to be 27,000. Now I want to think to myself, what is half of 1,000? Because I got to find my midpoint. Well, half of 1,000 is 500. So I know that down here it's going to be something 500. And I have to think to myself, if I'm on a number line, am I going to go 26,500 or 27,500? Well, it looks like I'm going up, so this is going to be 26,500. Now that I have my number line placed, I can put in my number. This is 26,100. So remember, we're looking at our neighbor next door. This is a 1. So I have to ask myself, is this 100 less than 500 or more than 500? Well, we know that 100 is less than 500. So our number is going to be plotted somewhere right here. So this would be 26,101. Well, is this number closer to 27,000 or 26,000? It's closer to 26,000, so I'm going to circle it. And that means 26,101 is approximately 26,000. Easy peasy. Round it to the 10,000. 10,000. This one's going to be your most difficult one, guys, out of all of the ones we're going to round. We're rounding to the 10,000. So again, box in the place value we're rounding to, and then I need to go in and find my 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So I'm going to circle this 2. Well, 2 10,000s. How much is 2 10,000s? Well, that's 20,000. So that's going to be my starting point. Remember, when we're getting our high point, all we're doing is adding one more unit to the place we circled. So 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 10,000s is 30,000. So our high point is going to be 30,000. Now I have to think about our midpoint. Now is not half of 1,000, but half of 10,000. Well, half of 10 is 5, so this is going to be 5,000. So this number is going to be something 5,000. The trick that I like to do is for the 10,000s, you're going to count by 5. 20. What comes next? 25. And then 30. So our midpoint is 25,000. Now I'm ready to plot 25,101. Again, you're looking at the neighbor next door. So I have a 6 next door. So I'm going to ask myself, is 6,000 less than 5,000 or more than 5,000? Well, I know 6,000 is more, so it's going to be plotted somewhere up here. So this would be 26,101. And 26,101 is approximately closer to 30,000. So I'm going to circle it, and then I'm going to write it. Alright, easy peasy. You just have to pay attention to the neighbor next door, guys, whenever you round. and the place value that you're rounding to. Alright. This says round to the nearest 1,000. So again, we're rounding to the 1,000. So I need to find my thousands place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So I'm going to circle it. So that means all of this becomes thousands. So 168,000. To get our high point, remember, we're going to add one more. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So this becomes 169,000. My midway point for thousands, guys, remember, is 500. So this is going to be something 500. But if we're going up in the number line, we're just going to carry this beginning part. 168,500. Now I can plot this number. I need to look at my neighbor next door, which is a 9. Is 9 more than 500 or less than 500? Well, we know that 900 is more than 500, so 168,907. So that number is approximately 169,000. Alright, let's round the same number, but to the 10,000s place. So we're rounding to the 10,000s place. So I need to find my 10,000s. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So I'm going to circle my 6. So I need to ask myself, 6 10,000s is how much? Well, that's 160,000. Because we want to carry everything in the front. So you could say 16 10,000s is 160,000. Now, to get my high point, we're going to add one more unit to the one that we circled. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So this is now going to be 170,000. And to get our midpoint, guys, remember, half of 10,000 is 5,000. So this would be 165,000. And now I can plot. I have to look at the neighbor next door. I have an 8. Is 8,000 smaller or bigger than 5,000? Well, we know 8,000 is bigger, so it's going to go somewhere up here. 168,907. So this number is approximately 170,000. Alright, and lastly, here's our new part. And I did it last because it's so simple. We're going to round to the 100,000s. So I need to find my 100,000s. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. I'm going to circle it. Remember, all of this becomes zeros. So this is 100,000. To get your high point, you're just going to add one more to the one you circled. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is now going to be 200,000. And then I want you to think about half of 100. What is half of 100? Well, half of 100 is 50. But then we have this 1,000. So our midway point is going to be something 50,000. So I'm going to write that here. But if you just write 50,000, it doesn't make sense to go 150,000, 200,000. It makes sense to go 100, 150,000, then 200,000. So now we're ready to plot our number. 168,907. Remember, we're looking at our neighbor next door, which is a 6. or 60,000? Is 60,000 less than 50,000 or more than 50,000? Well, we know 60,000 is more, so our number is going to be plotted somewhere up here. 168,907. So this number is approximately 200,000. And that's how you do that one, guys. Alright, let's do some more practice with 100,000s and 10,000s. Here's our word problem. Derek rounded 310,659 to the 10,000s place. He said that it rounds to 311,000. Explain Derek's error. What is the correct way to round 310,059 to the 10,000s place? Well, before I can explain Derek's error, I need to round it to the 10,000s place myself and see if I can get this same answer. So I'm going to draw my arrow, my high point, my midpoint, and my starting point. Okay. Rounding to the 10,000s. Remember, I want to circle my 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Here's my 10,000s. So 31 10,000s would give you 310,000. And then if I add one more to get my high point, that's 3. 1 plus 1 is 2 and 0. So that would be 320,000. And then my midpoint, guys, remember half of 10,000 is 5,000. So this would be 315,000. Now I can plot. I have to look at the neighbor next door, which is a 0. Is 0,000 smaller than 5,000 or more than 5,000? Well, I know that's smaller, so our number is going to be somewhere right here. So we would round to 310,000. So Derek rounded to 311,000. His mistake was that he rounded to the